Did you just say 25?
Well, like it's 124.
We've only done 25 episodes. No, it's actually 124. Yeah, good stuff. Welcome back to another episode of Gaming Podcast. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I went down the deep hole of playing Pokopia this weekend, and it's consuming
Animal Crossing looking a little worried. If you guys don't go back and play Animal Crossing,
okay.
they might have to let go of those devs.
Listen, that update came out, the Switch 2 update. I went in for one day. I was like, yeah, this ain't it anymore. I'm over it. Damn.
Gotta go with Ditto.
I went with Ditto, and it's a ton of fun. It's a good marriage between Animal Crossing, Minecraft. It's got a nice story there if you really want like a loose one. But yeah, it's just nice vibes right now. When the
story's kind of dark there a little bit, actually. A little bit dark there.
But as the world is just crumbling, it's nice just to be a recluse with my little Pokemon friends.
There you go. Maybe this is the timeline where it ends up to be like that's where we end up and everything.
Not too far away. Not too far away.
Good Boost, what's going on with you, man?
I'm good. I'm still just several hours into Marathon. Been loving it. Cryo Archive just came out and they had like the ranked mode. I didn't really love ranked, to be honest. I felt like it was kind of exposing some weak spots in the game because there's a lot of people who just sit in a corner for 25 minutes and then fight at the final extract, basically.
Right.
But Cryo Archive is like a really, really cool experiment, I feel like, for an extraction shooter to have raid-like mechanics, to have like hidden secrets and all these like tight corridors. It really did feel like the ultimate test of the game. I still think that there are like some balancing things PvP wise that they need to work out to really make Cryo Archive like more engaging for a wider audience. But man, Marathon, I honestly think that Bungie is onto something, and I really do hope that they continue to like iterate and just add more to the game over the next couple months and years.
Yeah, numbers are looking good for them. So it's
I think they're solid. Well. Like somebody made a really interesting comparison, which I totally agree with, where like when Fortnite came out, Fortnite was the king of battle royales. And then you had something like Apex, where it was like, for a lot of people, might have been more digestible. I feel like Marathon is kind of the apex of extraction shooters.
I completely agree.
It's going to have that core audience. People are going to play it consistently. It's obviously not going to be Arc Raiders. It's not going to be the biggest one, but it'll just be another really solid extraction shooter to jump into.
And I think more competitive too, similar to Apex.
Yes, 100%.
Right? Like Apex, diversified itself versus Fortnite or even like PUBG at the time, just by being like, no, we are going super hard on being a competitive game. And I think similar to Marathon, which to me was a little grating for me, where I was like, ooh, like this is sweaty versus Arc Raiders, where it's like kind of vibey. It's kind of, a little more wholesome.
Hop on proc chat.
Exactly. Have like a good time. You hear someone, playing, Freebird.
None of that Marathon.
Nope. You're getting wiped the hell out.
The second game I'm there, like another guy was like, I was just running solos and I go up to the extract and like another dude shows up and I was like, sick. We're getting out of here together, buddy. Boom, right into the I was like, okay, all right, never mind. It's just you. It's just you getting out of here.
Yeah.
It's the way of the road.
Wild, absolutely wild. By the way, PUBG's still going. They're adding the Stellar Blade girl.
Yeah, honestly,
there's
so many games out there where you don't realize like how big of a player base there still is and how active it still is. And yeah, PUBG is one of them.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Sammy, what about you? What's going on?
Just been chilling. I've actually been reviewing a semi-cozy game that's coming out next week that I'm really excited about. But what's funny about it is that they're going through COVID, and I'm like, oh, it's been enough time. We're actually getting games that reflect that time now. So that was very interesting. But other than that,
I don't want to go play it.
I mean, it's still very good. It's still very, very good. So when it does come out and I'm able to say like, hey, it's this game, I highly recommend it.
Oh, will this game get a certain nominee at a certain awards for you at least?
Maybe.
Okay, good teaser. Good teaser. I like that. All right. Has anyone tried Crimson Desert?
Yes.
Steve has. I saw your videos.
I'm so nervous to jump in because everyone, and now I'm starting to see like more of the people who are skeptical start to say the same thing, where everyone has basically kind of had the same opinion that you got to put 10 hours before you hit that point where it's like, oh, this is amazing.
Maybe.
How do you feel?
Mileage varies. And I'm curious to know, Marcel, your experience with it. Those, I will say, objectively, probably the first 3 hours, dog shit. Like it's just like it's a really bad onboarding experience. And I think a lot of that goes into my issues with the controls, which are getting better with patches. But I think it's just a tough onboarding experience. It really reminds me of that first act in Red Dead Redemption 2 when you're in the snow and you're like, all right, like I get it. You're going through the motion. You're teaching me every little thing. And then once, to me, the moment is like, as soon as you hit chapter 3, which took me about 5 hours. And I've spoken to other people as well, where they're like, as soon as I hit chapter 3, it's kind of, here's the game, enjoy. And that's when you kind of hit that flow state where you can go out, carve your own path. You have the exploration. You can follow the main story if you really want to. You can start unlocking, fast travel points, looking for boss battles and stuff like this. And that's when it starts to become more digestible, easier to comprehend.
I think my issue is that there was a lot of people who, in defense of the game, would say like, oh, there's no hand holding, right? Like it's not trying to help you figure out, there's no yellow paint, right?
No.
But I was watching a buddy of mine play, and I remember there was like a bounty he was looking for, and it said that it's in this certain location on the map. And normally you would expect that you open up your map, you zoom in, and you can see the tiny little cities, you can see the tiny little POIs, right? Like you have your big landmarks, zoom in, here's this tiny little town, here's this tiny, there's just like next to no information about where he even really needed to go. So it's more just go to the name of this place and the description that sounds similar to where this enemy could be. And then there was apparently like there's not 100% spawn rate for the enemy. You can't just keep sleeping your character. You have to be tired to sleep. And it was just all these things where it's like, I understand that there's like a ton of mechanics sometimes in the game to really immerse you into the world, but there's almost like too many that it's exhausting.
I wonder though, not to interrupt, but I wonder if that's something that's been patched, because I've done 3 or 4 bounties, and on the map there's like a small shield with like almost like a fog of war around it, and it tells you like, oh, your bounty's over here.
Okay.
Not so that it's like a waypoint on your like HUD or anything, but you have to go onto the map, at least me. And I was able to go to that area and he was there.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe it was either a bug,
some different as a glitch or a bug, or
it could have been a bug where he just didn't spawn and then therefore that icon didn't appear. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, like I'm interested in checking it out just because there's so much talk about it. And I do hear that a lot of people are saying like, it's just such a massive game that it's almost like it's difficult to hate, because of how many hours you have to put into it, to the point where you can really, really open up this like massive, massive game. But for me, it's just intimidating. Like, I don't know.
Marcel, I'm curious to know your opinion.
This game, it's rough. It's rough. I'm gonna be honest, because at the beginning, it is like I played this actually at TwitchCon, and what I was introduced was the beginning part, and then I was doing like 3 boss battles. So I was like, okay, maybe this is like how this game was pitched to me. Maybe this is like, okay, like a Souls-like, but like you go like fight different bosses and everything. And like you're going through this portal, you're like, hey, this is where this boss is and everything. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is related, something to the story. No idea what the hell is going on. No idea why this guy who came into the village wipe out my whole team. Still have no idea why he did that. Yeah. Then I'm like flowing to some universe sky with some magical bracelet, climbing rocks in the sky like Skyward Sword. Like this is like a bunch of games combined together. I called this like a beautiful Frankenstein game, where like in the Frankenstein could look all nice and beautiful, and they have no personality. Like there's no
You're not entirely wrong.
There's no personality whatsoever. Like the one in the quest is so dumb. It's like, hey, look for the guy who looks like he wants to say something. I'm like, I'm in a crowd. That could be anybody. What are we talking about here?
So that's why the runtime is up to 90 hours, because you have to spend half the time finding it out.
I was gonna say, it seemed like one of those games that has those like artificial game lengtheners, you know, like
Sure.
those things where it's like they can boast about their story being 100 hours, but like 95 of it is them saying
You're looking
somebody
around.
is in this area.
Good
and
luck.
You just talk to them to progress the story.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Like,
and then like another part of the game, like it does teach you, like, okay, you know, I'm using control RBs to light swing, right trigger is to heavy swing, but they never teach you how to block. They just skip that part. It never, for at least for me, unless I was bugged out, I was like, I have a big shield. What's the block button? Just skipped it.
See, that's that part where it's like I really can't side with people who are like, this game doesn't hold your hand. Like, you got to figure it out. You know, it's a skill issue. It's like,
dude,
come on, man. Like, come on.
Minimum, like press this, does this. That's it.
Real. Yeah,
there's also so many hidden mechanics that I don't like that argument either of like, oh, well, the game doesn't hold it. It's like there are some really cool abilities that you can figure out, like using the force push to like triple jump. I'm like, that's sick. And the only reason I know that exists is because I saw a TikTok about it and not because the game told me.
Oh my God.
But there's like also like, I do think that there's nothing that you're saying, Marcel, is wrong whatsoever. And I don't disagree. But I think that there's like some cool aspects to it. It's one of those games that kind of remind me of being on a playground back in like grade school where a friend will tell you like, oh, did you find this thing? And then you're like, no way. And you like, for instance, in the opening town that you're in, there's like a house up on the hill, and next to that house is a little shack. If you go into that shack, there's a katana. That's one of the most powerful weapons you can find for like the first third of the game. And the game doesn't tell you that, but it's just one of those things that one person out there of at this point, 3 million just happened to go into that house, unlock the door, find this OP weapon, and then it started becoming this like viral discussion on Reddit and TikTok. And I like that stuff. I like going off the path, finding a puzzle, entering this like secret cavern underneath a house, and there's treasure there. I like that kind of stuff, and I like that reward for exploration. It reminds me of Elden Ring in a way where it's like, well, what's over there? You go over there, there's a cavern. It's not a POI. It's not marked on the map whatsoever. And then all of a sudden you're in a boss battle, or you find like a really cool shield or something like that. Yeah.
And to be fair, I haven't reached like the almighty chapter 3 yet either. Like I was still like I was still hovering around 2, and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm too tired for this right now. So I will definitely revisit and see if it like changes my mind and everything. So I
wonder, like, I have my marketing hat on right now, we'll say. I wonder if part of it being kind of hard is because they want you to go out, post on Reddit, post on whatever, and kind of like crowdsource some answers. I feel like that could be a way to jumpstart a community.
Possibly. I mean, like, even look at their marketing pre-release. They went entirely with like influencers getting hands-on way before media did. So maybe they are looking for people who have this like online channel to just talk about the game, about it with their community, and kind of get the word out and have that conversation back and forth. Because I think that there are cool discovery aspects to the game. I just think that it's not well optimized, especially for console. The controls on the controller are getting better, but they're pretty abysmal.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Like,
it's tough.
Yeah. And the onboarding, like I said, this needs a little bit, because like it's just like, dude, like it's already frustrating enough to know, like, can I go here on my own, or can I go discover this and everything? And next thing you have wings. I'm like, why do I have wings all of a sudden? What's going on? You're dropping from the sky. Where are we dropping, boys?
I would be very interested, Marcel, to know your opinion once you get into chapter 3, because the same thing, like I went through chapter 1 and chapter 2 the first night. I was like, man, I am not feeling this whatsoever. But I had the game, and I went back the second night, and maybe it was just like fresh pair of eyes. I was, maybe in the mood a little more, but I got through chapter 3 and I'm like well into it. Got to my first like real couple of boss battles. I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling it more. Like I'm feeling more confident in the controls, the gameplay loop and stuff like that. So if you do give it another shot and get,
I will definitely dive back in. I think it was also like a long day I had, and I was like, let me dive into this. I'm like, this is not the right game to play after a long day. That's for
like
sure.
Homework. It's like
homework, So Epic Games, sadly, we'll talk about where we dropping, boys. Well, they ain't dropping anyone else. Well, except for employees, 1,000 of them, which is kind of crazy. I know that's a weird thing to say, but because apparently Fortnite numbers since 2025 have been significantly down, and they sadly had to do some dramatic cutoffs. They also are shutting down rocket racing, ballistic, and festival battle stage as well.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you really say at this point, right? Like it is
If
so
Fortnite
sad.
can't make it, then no one can make it.
It is just so sad, like how common it is to this point where it's just like, I'm not
Another one.
surprised, you know?
Yeah.
Like what are you gonna do? And it sucks because it used to be, it's like, well, when these games don't make the money that it's projected to make, or when they perform underwhelmingly from a critical standpoint, then that might end up being the outcome of some layoffs, right? But now it's like Spider-Man 2 can come out, 11 million copies sold, 90 on Metacritic, nominated for Game of the Year. Insomniac suffers layoffs. Fortnite, biggest video game maybe of all time, 1,000 people get laid off. Like
There's no
I don't
way.
even know what to say anymore. It's for anybody that's interested in getting into the games industry, for anybody that loves this stuff, it is so discouraging when every single day or every other week there is a major headline about not just like, oh yeah, we had to lay off or let go like 10 people. It's like, no, 1,000 jobs gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
And what's funny is that I'm sure whatever they paid Kim Kardashian probably could have kept those jobs, and maybe focusing on sponsorships that actually go with your game and like with your player base. Maybe don't spend millions of dollars on, a random influencer that
Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I would say at least that's a little bit closer than say like the Kim Kardashian thing.
It's
like
just
that.
This is kind of like the beast that Fortnite has become, right? Where it's just they're going to spend endless money because the collabs make them money, but now the catch-22 to that is, well, they're running out of money or whatever it might be, or maybe
and
they're just spending more
collabs
than they
And
can.
collabs.
Yeah. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
And it's just so unfortunate. I really feel bad for all of those that were affected. And I mean, it really sucks that that modes like the rocket racing and all that stuff just couldn't take off to the effect that maybe the devs would have wanted. Because I tried it out when it first came out. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of like arcade racing games.
Sure.
And so there was some bit in there. There was some bits and parts in there that were like right up my alley. And I imagine that there was a player base, even if it was pretty small, that are extremely bummed out about the outcome of all this. But again, this is what happens when I feel like Fortnite really like tried to become this game that like was a hub for a bunch of different other games, and it made it maybe just bit off more than they can chew. It really sucks though. 1,000 layoffs is insane.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, just for context, I want to read like the one paragraph that they had in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Note that they had given out to all employees, and then a bit of like also like background stuff. They said, quote, "Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than what we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over 500 million in identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place." This just came off the heels of them increasing, or I guess decreasing, the threshold of V-Buck pack tiers. So instead, like like March 19th is when this. So 5 days ago. What previously you would get 1,000 V-Bucks for $8.99 US now gets you 800 V-Bucks. And the cost differentials go up from there. And then, but also 5 days ago, Fortnite just came back to the Google Play Store after the company spent, at this point, nearly 6 years fighting Google and Apple, throwing millions of dollars at a lawsuit just because they wanted to play funny and be like, hey, we're not going to go through your app stores and abide by your app store policies to give you 30% of the money coming into us. We want to have a third-party platform there, so payments go directly to us and everything. And mind you, I do think that they did a pretty good thing for smaller developers, giving, making some great changes on the mobile platforms like that, and giving way to, now third-party developers being able to put in their own marketplaces and stuff like that. But that being said, they've had now years and years of just throwing out money.
Yeah.
To what now just be like, oops, we had to lay off 1,000 employees anyways. So I don't know. I just find like this whole thing just to be super discouraging and bleak for the industry, because look at what's happening with PlayStation. PlayStation has been chasing Fortnite for years, trying to make a Concord, trying to make, Marathon happen just so that they can get a slice of the pie that Fortnite even has. But if Fortnite's losing the pie, well, then the only one walking away the only one taking a bite of the pie are the ones at the very top taking all the money.
Yeah. And like they also have like a good source of funds coming in with their Unreal Engine.
They have the biggest engine in the world.
Yeah, like everyone uses it. They use it for movies. Could you take
the way
some part of that budget?
The way that Epic is positioned right now, it's like an endless funnel of money. Like it doesn't matter. I understand that people are playing Fortnite less and less. Like I understand games like Arc Raiders or even just the extraction shooter genre as a whole, right? That's kind of like taken the mainstream gaming sort of platform by storm. People are sort of shifting to that style of game. And so, less people are playing Fortnite, but there's still there has to be an active enough player base that there's still like tons of people who buy skins, who pay for V-Bucks, who engage in the game constantly, who are getting the battle pass, who are maybe subscribed to the crew so that they can just get their battle pass every single month. Who knows how many people are subscribed to that and didn't even know and are just paying that monthly fee without even.
Didn't Xbox give them a bag to add that in?
Xbox tied it into the Game Pass thing. And then, on top of all of these small little factors where they probably have such consistent cash flow coming in, they are Unreal Engine. They're shopping that out to whatever developer wants to make their games, which is pretty much every developer utilizing that engine these days. So it's just insane that it comes to this point. And honestly, like for it to have gotten here, for the people at the top to say, we laid off 1,000 people so that we can save somewhere in the range of $500 million, whatever it must be. That just has to, for me, it signals there's just some really terrible mismanagement of the funds and what they're spending. And
somebody bought too many yachts.
I want to see the C-suite salaries.
100%. And the people who suffer are the ones that like the way it trickles down below, right? So those who are just trying to make a livable wage, it's horrible.
Now, I do wonder something, because Caboose, you brought up like current player counts, and right now in the past 24 hours, according to activeplayer.io, it said that there was 1.7 million players, which is still pretty damn good.
That's insane.
But I do wonder, and this is a problem that I've been thinking about more and more, is that at a certain point, people will grow out of Fortnite. And I don't mean like, disinterest, but I think that a large majority of players right now enjoying Fortnite are of a younger generation. And at a certain point, just like we grew out of, let's say, Mario or something like that, they'll do the same. I don't know if Fortnite has future-proofed itself for that future, and whether or not we're reaching that bubble when people are going to be dropping off and, not, upgrading to a different game, but just like finding other interests, whether it's life or, a different game. I don't know if Fortnite... Well, sure, yeah. I just don't know if Fortnite is built for future-proofing to another generation, even younger generation of players to get into it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all these games are just going to come and go, right? Like, I think Fortnite has stuck around way longer than anybody would have ever expected. But I look at, for instance, Destiny 2 as a perfect example. Destiny 2 had that 10-year plan. Or just Destiny in general, right? They had that 10-year plan and they executed it, and they had a very consistent, large player base through that 10 years. As soon as they released Vault of Glass and people started to realize how legit Destiny was as a game and how like the potential that was there, they stuck around for 10 years and saw it through to the final shape. And I was in the boat where I was like, it's Destiny. It has such a core audience. They would never go away, right? Like it's Destiny.
Right.
And now we're looking at like, it's like the dark days. Like, Destiny's like hanging on by a thread. Who knows if they're ever even going to come back? I mean, some people are even saying like the only way forward is to just make a Destiny 3. But it's just it's to give credit to what you're saying, Steve, that every game, no matter how big, no matter how popular, and no matter how much of a core fan base there is, at some point people get bored of it. At some point, you get your I don't want to play with you anymore, and you drop your Woody doll, and now, that's what happens.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know anything about Roblox. I don't think I even have a vested interest in even looking into it, to be completely honest. So I'm pretty naive. But what I would say is that I think the only exception that comes to mind is Minecraft, where I think Minecraft is generationally the same game. If you've fallen off of it and you come back to Minecraft, it's still the same game. For new players, it's still the same game. Like there's something, it exists within a bubble because it's not competitive. You're not missing out on something. If you haven't played in years, you might come back and just find more content. It's not like there's this FOMO that you have with Fortnite that I think could be discouraging to players.
Yeah.
And something about Minecraft, I'd say like twice a year, I'm like, hey,
right,
guys, let's get a server going.
Yeah, a little rainy day.
I'm like that too. I'm like that too. And it's just, and every time I jump back into it as well, it's like, man, this game is like so therapeutic. Like,
I know.
I'm just sitting there with the music, and like you said, it's like raining outside. It's the perfect kind of weather where all you want to do is just stay indoors.
Yep.
And just it's just a beautiful time.
Now you got Pokemon for that, so you know.
I really got to get into Pokemon. I have heard nothing but great things. Yeah.
Also, they also mentioned that they're going to be accelerating the evolution towards Unreal Engine 6. Listen, aren't people still trying to figure out 5?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, most games that are coming out these days still really struggle with optimization under UE5. So I'm really surprised. That they're trying to fast track the work on Unreal Engine.
That seems like a little note, like a footnote in there for investors.
Yeah,
like,
you know what,
honestly, it's not burning down. We got a really good engine on the back burner we're working on.
Yeah, I gotta agree. That definitely seems like it's something for the suits.
I mean, maybe there were signs that they were desperate when they started adding like the people from The Office that are like, hey, maybe people who members of The Simpsons, they'll come back and everything, So they were grasping at straws. We're like, who can we pay money to bring more money in? And like maybe I don't know. For me, maybe The Simpsons was like the top one, but like
Also, they had that classic MCU Captain America and Iron Man, and I was like, damn, that looks nice, but like for me,
so much money.
I know, and also like I was in this position where like I don't know, I stopped getting that FOMO feel where it's like I gotta have that skin, you know what I mean? And part of it is because I'm like, when am I going to play this game? And what reason would I have to show this off? And I wonder. I mean, I guess a lot of people are in that position as well, considering that Epic is kind of panicking here about lower than usual player numbers. But how many games out there would still dream to have 1.7 million people playing their game? It's absurd.
Like, I'm curious, what is Marathon out right now?
Steam concurrents have been like steady in like 50 to 60,000, but I don't know what console looks like.
Yeah, no, that is tough. Because there's no aggregate like it is for
they will never
right now.
Tell.
That's at 33. I mean, it's right off the workday on a Tuesday. That's not super surprising. But could you imagine if Marathon was just sitting at 1.7? Sony would be laughing. Sony would be there like,
I don't think the servers can even handle it.
Yeah, no,
that's fair.
Like, the way people be spawning next to each other. I'm like, wait, why is there 6 teams here? What's going on?
If we were to look at Steam as like an indicator of one platform's player count numbers, then maybe Marathon's sitting at somewhere north of like 100K a day.
Yeah.
At the height.
Helldivers 2 60K in the last 24 hours, so that's pretty healthy.
That's crazy. You don't even hear about that game as much. So
just like what I was saying about PUBG, just there's these games.
Yeah.
No, yep.
I don't get it.
On the mobile part on PUBG. Oh my
Stardew
God.
Valley 73,000 concurrents.
What are people doing? They just left the game on? Like, I don't understand.
all they do is update it. They said there's no point in making a Stardew 2 when they could just optimize and keep adding to the game.
Even
See, they,
oh my God,
they know what
Apex.
they're doing versus Overwatch. They're like, hey, we're not gonna blow apart our community.
Even I'm looking at Apex, which by all accounts, from what I had heard from people who play Apex, is in its worst possible state right now.
Really?
Still
I had
hitting
to
like
stop playing.
240 24-hour peaks. It's sitting at 80,000 right now. Like that is crazy.
That's
That's
kinda
crazy
nuts.
work.
Yeah.
But 1.7 million in Fortnite.
It's not enough.
Now we
Not
gotta do
successful.
layoffs. Yeah, these are rookie numbers.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe stop giving games away for free on your lack of a store. You still can't add a wish list or can't add stuff. It's so dumb. I don't know.
Like I honestly can't think of how Fortnite could make more money. They seem to be making the most amount of money, and set themselves. They have a business model primed to make the most amount of money in the industry right now.
And like you said, a business model that pretty much everyone is trying to emulate.
Yeah.
And they can't even emulate themselves. They're like the snake eating its own tail at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it just feels like it's just greed for greed's sake.
Yeah,
It's
mismanagement
like,
is somewhere there.
No one can confidently come to me and just be like, "No, this is why Fortnite or Epic Games had to do this." I'd be like, "No, I don't believe you."
No.
Yeah.
Show me the Carfax on this one because I don't believe you.
Jason Schreier also mentioned that PlayStation is closing down Dark Outlaw Games as well. That one just came about a couple hours ago, actually. Former Call of Duty lead Jason Blundell, his previous PlayStation studio Devastation was shut down in 2024. So that guy is having a rough time as well. So PlayStation is making other cuts, including mobile development. Around 50 people laid off. The
timeline of this whole thing is comically mismanaged. For those that don't know, like in 2021, Jason Blundell left the Call of Duty umbrella to go form Deviation Games. And then Deviation was acquired by Sony. Sony then canceled their project and then shuttered that company, and then brought Jason Blundell to then start Dark Outlaw Games to front like the mobile department, and then 2 years later shut that down too.
Brutal.
Between that, Blue Point, every other like
what do they have left?
What's going on over there? You got God of War. You got a whole bunch of God of War and The Last of Us.
Yeah, this is definitely it. It's so weird because they won. It was such a huge success in the PS4 generation that I feel like, especially in the eyes of the general public, there isn't enough people going, man, the PS5 generation is one of their worst in terms of just layoffs, studio shutdowns. Their project plan for a little while was to just release a ton of live service titles, most of which just got canned, some of which released and were, Concord. And so like when you look at what's going on now, it's just another little piece to that trend of like, man, the PS5, they really messed up. Like that, trying to go all in on live service set them so far back to the point where like we're how many years into this console generation now? 6 years.
Yeah.
Where most of the time we would be looking at, all right, PlayStation 6 is maybe next year, right? Now it's like, no, they kind of want to get Wolverine out, and there might be this big God of War spinoff coming out next year, and who knows what else they got coming down the pipeline.
RAM shortage could impact it.
Shortage.
They had to deal with the pandemic as well. So
right, I mean that's right. They were dealing with that off launch as well. This is rough for sure for PlayStation. But again, having a studio shut down, all these layoffs, and everything that's happening now with PlayStation, and it's just another one of those things. I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
it's
funny because you list all this stuff off, the mass layoffs, this chase for games as a service, the many studio closures that to me optically just don't make sense, but none of it matters because PlayStation is just selling hand over fist, like 3 to 1 versus Xbox. Like as much as there's mismanagement at the top of, studios and games and stuff like that right now, the player base still looks at, a game like, and we'll talk about it soon, as Saros or, Wolverine coming up, and they're like, no, this is the place that I want to play.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at Dark Outlaw Games, don't care, didn't even know that they were a PlayStation studio. And, none of it really does matter. But for us, like within the bubble and looking at PlayStation and have been following PlayStation for so many years, you have to wonder, like, what is Herman Hulst even doing? Like,
who even knows, man?
Like is anyone like knocking on his office and be like, homie, we got to tighten this stuff up, because yeah, it's really grim and it's frustrating.
I wonder, like, what, like, on the Japan like side thing of things, like, what are you guys doing over there in America, just shutting down everything? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
because it's so, like, it's not a thing that you can do in Japan. It's against the law and everything. But they're like, I mean, I don't know. It's
Hulst effectively got demoted.
Yeah.
During this console generation, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was like co-CEO, and then he kind of got, taken down a rung. But still, like, there is no accountability, as far as I'm concerned, of all these investments in games as a service. And I know Jim Ryan kind of built that up, but it went, at this point, it is under Herman Hulst's responsibility. Studio closures, everything that's going on right now, the buck has to stop with someone. And yeah, it's just frustrating that another studio kind of got taken down.
Yeah. And just before we dive into Caboose and Saros and everything, Asha wants to find a way to make Game Pass cheaper, and they're looking to do something with a bundle with Netflix.
I mean, that's interesting, but for me, this is becoming a bit of a problem. Well, I mean, maybe not a problem, but like, there's a lot of talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
that's nice and all. Thanks for saying that. I'm just gonna wait until you do it, though. You know what I mean? Because it means nothing to me that you say we're looking into making Game Pass cheaper. Just do it. Like,
how about just do it right now? Yeah,
you can offer up a price hike on any given day. Why don't you just reduce it tomorrow?
While we figure out right now, there's a discount for the next 3 months.
It just reminds me of that, like, Eric Andre clip where he shoots Hannibal Buress and he's like, why would he do this to me? What? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep telling me about what you want to do and what you're hoping to do and all this. Like, I don't know. It's all this for me is just this talk to try and excite people and get people on board with this new shift at Xbox. It's like, none of it really means
they're trying to be the
cool
kids. Like, hey kids, look what I did here. I'm like, right, dude.
Like, you can say that you jumped off a rooftop and hung onto a helicopter while there was an explosion behind. I didn't see it. So until I see it happen, I'm not really going to put stock into anything that's being told to me here right now.
Yeah.
I just find it very odd that, Xbox Game Pass at this point, laughably expensive. Netflix, laughably expensive, are now going to bundle their services together for what, a $50 subscription?
$60.
Yeah, like, what are we talking about? That doesn't excite me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I could see from the Netflix point of view, they have been trying to do more and more game-centered things. So having a partnership in like a big company like an Xbox kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's so expensive. I was just kind of taking a look at just like all my subscriptions now versus like 10 years ago. And I was just like, holy crap. Netflix especially used to be like $9. Now I'm paying like almost 30.
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass used to be $1.
Yep.
You should get it in chocolate bars.
Value in gaming.
people used to buy like a bulk of like chocolate bars and that had a Game Pass codes in there.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because that game you're excited for, canceled.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark.
Oh, what's that? That new studio we just opened up to make this brand new game we announced like a couple years ago?
Close.
Yeah, we shut them down.
Yeah. Oh, that show. Well, that also goes hand in hand with Netflix. Oh, that show that you really like that ran for 3 seasons. Oh, you're really hoping for a conclusion on that one. Yeah, get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God, man.
Caboose, the floor is yours. What is going on with Saros?
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, a big thank you to PlayStation Canada. They flew me out over into San Francisco. First time I actually ever got to visit PlayStation HQ.
That's cool.
Really cool just being there in person, walking into the lobby and getting hands-on, obviously, with Saros. And I got to play like a good 3 hours. We basically got to play what the first 3 hours of the game are.
Nice.
So there wasn't anything about them putting us into like the middle or giving us some upgrades and throwing us like a few hours in or anything like that. No. We literally just started the game as you would start the game. I'll say this first. I never played Returnal. It didn't really appeal to me. I'm gonna now play Returnal.
They got him.
They got me 100%. And from what I understand, or at least for some of the people that I spoke to, if you loved Returnal, you are absolutely going to love Saros.
That's all I need to hear.
It's just, I think as well for me, for as somebody who's just completely on the outside, who doesn't even really play games of this type and was really just new to a lot of it, I was very much getting like Doom Eternal vibes, where it's just non-stop. Like there is so much being thrown at you. It's high octane. You're jumping and dodging and throwing up your shield. And they use this terminology when they were kind of giving us an intro to the game that I really love, in that it's like a ballet of bullets, you know, because you really are just trying to bob and weave and dance around all of these orbs and everything being shot at you. And it's so intense. It's so intense. The difficulty is definitely cranked up pretty high. I mean, for anybody who isn't really a fan of games that you have to be this involved in, you know, this is one of those lean forward in your chair type of games. So I understand if there's some people who might not like that. But for me, I was definitely locked into it. There was a boss battle I couldn't even beat during our demo time. And it's weird because every time I died or every time I would get unnecessarily hit and I lost a bit of health that I knew I shouldn't have, I was so frustrated, but not in the way where it was like, this game is frustrating me. It was in the way where it's like, I really want to have a perfect run, man. And so it's like every time I got hit, I was like, okay, let's just see if I can make the most out of this. Every time I lost to the boss, I was like, no. This next run, this is going to be the one. There was nothing that was like discouraging me. And I think a part of that was that their skill tree system was really interesting in that you can keep your upgrades. So if I were to upgrade the amount of health value that I have or the amount of shields or whatever, the amount of hits I can take, all that stuff carries over from each death and from each run. There's also this mechanic, obviously, where like you play the game kind of normally, and then at a certain point in your biome or during your level, you have to activate like this eclipse, which cranks up the difficulty. So now any enemies that were shooting like bullets at you that normally you can sponge with like your bubble shield or whatever, now you have to dodge out of the way. In the eclipse, there are hits that can be thrown your way that you have to dodge. You cannot block. You cannot be in the vicinity of. It will hit you. It will hurt you. And yeah, the eclipse really gets things like amped up. You can like feel the intensity. You know, again, it's that very much that moment of like that meme of you're sitting back, you activate the eclipse, and it's like, oh shit, okay, hold on. I'm gonna lock in here.
I love that.
But yeah, I was really digging everything that we were getting to try out from the game. Raul Coley, I think, is fantastic as well. I think he's great as the protagonist of the game. And just the story, the world, and the designs of like some of these monsters and creatures, and you know, the biomes and the environment. I really was into it. I think that Housemarque is onto something here. They've got something really special. And yeah, if you loved Returnal, this is right up your alley.
How's the performance as well, actually?
I didn't notice a hitch, didn't notice any problems, didn't notice a frame drop. The visuals were beautiful as well. All of it was working as I expected it to. I couldn't remember if we were playing on PS5 Pros. I
was gonna ask.
Okay.
I wish I took note of that. I'd have to imagine that was the case though. So I'm not 100% sure of what this is going to look like running on a base PS5, but from what we got to play, I didn't have any issues.
I love it.
So Riley has Saros and Pokeopia. That's a problem.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get I think he's going to have a pretty big win here with Saros. I do think that there are some vocal performances that aren't the greatest, but overall, like I was really digging what we were experiencing there, and there was enough in the story that I was like engaged and wanting to know where it went next.
That's cool. I mean, I'm a huge Returnal fan. And I brute force my way through that game because, like you were saying, that feeling of like, oh, if I just do another run, I hope that I get the health upgrades, the weapons I need just to get to that next boss battle, and you re-roll, and you toss out runs just because you're like, this is a wash, I'm gonna go back in. I need the perfect run here. But I think, like, no matter how much I liked Returnal, the one thing that was lacking, in my opinion, was the story. It was very loose. It was very kind of like cryptic. Like, you had to kind of interpret a lot of it on your own. So seeing the stuff that I've seen of Saros, and like hearing your response to it, is like, okay, now that they've already crafted and kind of perfected the gameplay loop and stuff like that, and it seems like they're making meaningful improvements to what made Returnal so special. But adding in a compelling story, bringing in Raul as, you know, a compelling main character, I'm like, okay, I already know I'm gonna like it, but now I'm really, really invested in this.
Yeah, I can definitely see as well, or at least from what I was kind of picking up on, Housemarque was very much with the game development. We're saying we know that people really loved the gameplay loop in Returnal, so they were essentially thinking, or at least what I again, I got to play Returnal to really understand what I'm saying here, but what I'm picking up on is that they were like, we're just gonna do that same thing gameplay wise, and find, like, just activate or go into some of those pain points, and see if we can improve upon them, which, like you said, could have been the story. And
certainly the story. And I know at launch, it was a big conversation of, this game is hard. Like, I'm talking like brutally hard. And they kind of mitigated that. They added co-op, they decreased the difficulty, and did some like fine tuning and balancing across the many months after it came out. But I'm really interested now, because you're talking about, you know, some stuff carries over throughout the runs and everything, like upgrades and health and stuff like that. I think that's going to go a long way to balance the game in a more meaningful way, and not just have it so every run you're like, all right, well, if I don't get what the exact items that I need for this run, I'm going to have a bad time here. And that's kind of what happened with Returnal leading up to the launch.
It definitely didn't feel like one of those situations where every time I died, it was like, it was almost like I forgot to save, and now I'm all the way back. Like, there's enough that I was able to bring into each run where I was strong enough to kind of, just like you said, brute force your way through some of the early encounters, and hopefully be able to have some luck, or lock in a bit more on some of the more difficult parts of certain parts of the game. I was really into it. I'm very happy. It wasn't a game that was fully on my radar, just because Returnal wasn't fully on my radar. But after getting my hands on it, it's like, I have to jump in and try Returnal now, just to really get a good feel for what their gameplay loop is like. And I'm very excited to see what the full product is going to look like here with Saros.
Yeah, it's coming out very soon, next month, 28th, I think.
Yeah, it's at the end of the month, something like that.
At the end of April. And I think people are gonna have something to really look forward to here.
Yeah, and it is exclusive on PlayStation 5. You get
might stay
PC
that way, and might stay that way.
The PC edition, you know.
That's rough, because, like, going back to some of the visuals in Saros, like, I remember seeing photos of, like, Returnal running on ultra wide, ultra wide monitors, and like, holy hell, this game is made for like cinematic viewing like that.
Did Returnal have like a solid PC player base, or did it have a good enough launch? Like, were there any issues with the port? Because I gotta wonder if for PlayStation, although I imagine for some of their tentpole titles like a Wolverine or this God of War spinoff, they want that to stay exclusive to PS5. I gotta wonder if they're still trying to play it case by case, right? Like, if they're like, well, enough people were playing Returnal on PC that it could be interesting to bring Saros to PC as well.
It was one of the first ones that came on.
It was 2023. It was very early on. I'm trying to look. I mean,
just make your launcher PlayStation.
At this point,
just do that. Let's, you know.
Because then there's people like me that we're hoping to wait a year to play some of these games, and now it's just like, well, no, you don't get it at all.
Nope. Give us $800.
You know what? When I'm looking at the Steam charts, it really didn't hit that high of an all-time peak.
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if Saros is just not. That's just going to be a PS5 exclusive. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a niche game to begin with. Like, if you're not behind this kind of roguelike, if you're not behind Housemarque's games to begin with, like, I think it is better for it to kind of launch as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. People who are invested in the ecosystem and know the history of Housemarque, they'll obviously adopt this, but I think launching it on PC, especially a staggered launch, 6 months down the road, I think you kind of lose some steam. Which they've experienced in the past as well.
Nice pun as well.
I was gonna say the same thing.
That was very nice. That was very smooth there. That was crazy. A lot of news in 50 minutes. That's been packed in a lot. Steve, what's going on for you for the rest of the week?
What is going on with me for the rest of the week? I don't know.
Well, I guess for Friday, because this comes out on Thursday. So
yeah, for Friday, I don't know. Hopefully, just playing Pokopia and hanging out. I don't know. I got nothing.
You're not gonna dive into some Mario meeting at the something park, Marabella?
Oh,
that long title.
No.
No. Life is Strange is coming back.
That's right.
I want to know what Chloe's up to. I need to know, man.
That is true. I do. I also have to catch up on the last one.
Oh,
True Color?
No, Double Exposure.
Double Exposure, thank you, because I do want to play Reunion, so I should probably do that. I should probably do my homework.
Definitely dive into that one. That's for sure. I'm excited for this one. I want to know. I'm like, how does this girl come back?
Yeah, honestly.
Like I thought we finished this. So how is she back now? So
one more time.
Caboose, what's going on for you?
Not much. Gonna be playing some more Marathon for sure. Probably gonna jump into Marvel Rivals as well. They just added I think it's White Fox, is it, to the game? So they're adding some obscure characters, which is cool. Black Cat's coming to the game next month as well. I want to say one thing before we leave, which is some good news that I think this panel here might be pretty happy to hear. OpenAI is shutting down Sora, and Disney is exiting their $1 billion deal with OpenAI. We're starting to win.
The world is healing.
Give the money to Epic. Save those 1,000 people. You already have a relationship with them.
Seriously. But yeah,
I'm here for the reckoning.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me. I'm just playing some more Marathon. You can check me out Twitter and Instagram at CabooseK or YouTube and twitch.tv/Caboose.
Also, I just remembered because it happened in Japan. Arc Systems and Tokon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big stuff.
Penny Parker in
the game now.
Well.
So that's a unique team because it has Star-Lord in there. So I'm like, how's that?
Weirder one.
It's a little weird team there. I thought he would have had like his own Guardians, but now they're the Guardians. I don't know. Anyway. We'll see. We'll see. The game's looking good. I'm excited for that one as well. Sammy, what's going on with you?
Does Marathon have crossplay?
Yep.
So I'm less likely to try out Marathon, but maybe listen.
Play with you guys.
Listen, I would love to play with you.
That's so funny.
But that's one of the things that kind of killed Apex for like a lot of people. Like the way that they handle crossplay is like a little unfair, where it forced all the pro players to have to play on like controller versus keyboard and mouse, and that's a whole other thing. But I
not turn it off though. I'm wondering.
Crossplay, you can turn it off.
Yeah.
But competitively, it changed the whole scene because you had to play on a controller.
Got it.
It was like a whole thing. But
I didn't want to play with you anyway, Sammy.
Yes,
you
don't want to play with us, Sammy. Jesus.
Fine.
I'll probably try it out eventually, and I have so many games that I have to play, and then I also do want to play Life is Strange 2, and yeah, just kind of chilling out.
Hell yeah. I want to check out a game called Screamer. That looks pretty interesting. The racing one as well.
Yeah, that looks good.
And then of course I'm gonna do a childhood challenge. I'm gonna finally beat Maximum Carnage on a goddamn Marvel Maximum collection of games. I've never been in that game. I had 3 lives. Anytime I rented that game, I can never finish it in time. And then that game was hard. It was super hard.
You're gonna have a blast with that game. Holy hell!
I'm super excited to dive in. And that collection comes out on Friday, actually. So
When does Pragmata come out? That's soon too, right?
April 17th.
April.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, it got bumped up earlier as well, actually.
Yeah.
So
Very, very soon.
Yeah. So we got a lot coming out. Life is Strange, Marvel, and Mario stuff. Can't forget about Mario. But we'll see all you here next week in April. Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jesus Christ. Take care, everyone.